Hello, everyone. Before I start the actual book review, I just want to say thank you for the few subscribers that have subscribed in the past month. I believe it went up 2 subscribers. So thank you, 2 subscribers, for subscribing. And also, I'm very, very close to 1,000 subscribers, and I want to get to 1,000 at least so that I can start, you know, being part of the YouTube partner program and things like that. And I also want to read different books that are maybe more controversial. But I know YouTube's censorship is really crazy right now. It's just getting way too out of control. So I haven't decided whether I want to do that because I have read books in the past about certain topics that I want to discuss, but then you know you don't people can't leave comments or this or that. I've had that happen before on a video when that wasn't controversial, I thought. But the YouTube censorship is just really crazy because it's a business. They're trying to make it family friendly, but it's the internet. It's not like a school, it's the internet. And but I do want to do more controversial videos and talk about, you know, and maybe making like a book review slash what I think about XYZ topic. So that is what's coming up. So on with the review, and thank you so much for all of the subscribers I have. Today I'm going to be reviewing the book Henry VIII, King and Court by Alison Weir. And this, as the title suggests, tells about the life and the court of King Henry VIII. And he reigned for about 37 years. And it talks a little bit about his childhood, but then it really gets into the court, his own court when he took over in 1509, and then ends at his death. And this is more about the daily life of court and not necessarily about the politics going on in the court, even though there were a lot of changes in this time. There was the big religious reforms and the splitting with the Catholic Church, but it tells a lot about his daily life and the daily life of the people that served him. And a couple of things that I found interesting about this book is that King Henry VIII, we know him as this, people think of him as this tyrant that beheaded 2 of his wives, but he was a big animal lover. He had dogs, and they weren't just hunting dogs. They were, pets as well. And he really enjoyed, you know, uh, fruit. You wouldn't think that, someone of his size later in life enjoyed fruit, but he really enjoyed fruit. I think one of his courtiers, when he visited, or one of his courtiers brought back quince jelly for him, and he really enjoyed it. And he was really into, astrology and um, music, and just he was the Renaissance man that we all think of. He was really that. He jousted, but he loved, you know, he just was a scholar. He was a sportsman. He was the Renaissance man that we think of. And even though this book is 25 hours long on Audible, something kept bringing me back, and I really enjoyed it. This was another one that I got free from Audible as part of my membership, and I really, I really enjoyed it. There were a lot of things that I did not know about just the daily life of King Henry VIII and all of his wives. And it was really, really interesting. And if you know anyone that is into the Tudor time period, I've been into the Tudor time period for since I was 1920, since I was 19 or 20 years old. And I got into it with Philippa Gregory novels, even though I think Alison Weir in novel writing is a lot better than Philippa Gregory. But if you know anyone that is into this, I would recommend this book. I think it might hold your interest, even though it is long. And the one thing that I find interesting, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, this book was written in 1991, and I think that she took this book and made the 2022 novel, or 2023 novel about King Henry VIII that I did review on this channel called The King's Pleasure. There are direct quotes from the biography that go into the novel, which I can understand that because she is a historian first and she wants to be as historical as possible. So it's not really a bad thing, it's just something that I noticed because I listen to audiobooks at night when I can't sleep, and I was listening to The King's Pleasure at night and then listening to King Henry VIII, King in Court during the day. So that's just something that I noticed. So if you know anyone that likes the Tudor time period, please send them my way to this video. And I do need to make an Alison Weir playlist. I need to do that. I've read enough books by her to make a pretty long playlist too, like probably an hour-long playlist of Alison Weir books. So I should really, really do that. I don't know why I haven't thought of it, but I really would enjoy, doing that. So right now what I'm reading is I'm reading a book called Daughters of Shandong, which is about China, so that will probably be the next book review because I also read it on Audible and I'm like 49 minutes away from finishing it. And then I'm reading a book about Queen Isabella of Spain. And then I'm also reading one of the Culture Smart books to prepare myself for the UK. So I'm reading three of those books in print. No, two of those books in print: the Isabella and the King, and the England, the England book that is in print. And then the Daughters of Shandong I'm reading on Audible. And then on March 18th, I'm going to start a new book by C.W. Gortner. He is another one of my favorite authors who writes historical fiction. He started writing royalty, but then he ventured out into new topics. So he has a new book coming out on March 18th called The Saint Laurent Muse. And so I'm going to get that on Audible, and so that will also be a new audiobook that I read. So that is what's coming up. And if you know anyone that likes my style of review or know anyone that likes the same book reviews that I do, please let them know. Send them my way and tell them to comment. I do try and comment. I get notifications most of the time, but sometimes YouTube is finicky. So I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.